My name is Lucas Reed. I'm 34 years old and I work as an audio restoration specialist. This happened in Tacoma, Washington, inside an apartment complex called Harbor View Residences. I lived there for 11 months. That was enough. Apartment 2F, second floor, one-bedroom unit, a shared wall on the right side. The building was built in the late 1990s, clean, quiet, the kind of place where nothing ever seems wrong. My neighbor lived in apartment 2G. I never learned his real name, so the leasing office called him the long-term tenant. No complaints, no visitors, no visible routine. The first time I noticed the breathing, it didn't scare me. I was lying in bed, lights off, trying to fall asleep after a long shift restoring old audio tapes. I inhaled deeply, and from the other side of the wall, I heard it. Another inhale. Same length, same rhythm. I exhaled. So did he. Perfectly timed. At first, I assumed it was coincidence. Thin walls, two tired men breathing in the same quiet room. I rolled onto my side. The breathing followed. The next night, I tested it. I took a slow breath in, held it. The breathing next door held too. My chest tightened. I exhaled sharply. The sound matched it exactly. I stopped breathing altogether. For 5 seconds, 10, 15, no sound from the other side. Then, a sudden gasp, loud, desperate, like lungs that had waited too long. I sat up in bed, heart racing, the breathing stopped. I told myself I needed proof. The next night, I set up my professional recording equipment, a high-sensitivity condenser mic, placed directly against the shared wall. I lay down and pretended to sleep. I controlled my breathing. Slow, unnatural. On the waveform monitor, 2 patterns appeared. Mine, and another one, perfectly overlapping. No delay, no distortion, as if the sound wasn't traveling through a wall at all, as if it was being generated from the same source. I went to a pulmonologist. Sleep-related anxiety, he said. Stress-induced auditory hallucinations. He prescribed breathing exercises. That night, I followed them. Deep inhale, hold, exhale. From the wall, the same exercise, executed flawlessly. I opened my eyes and heard words, barely audible, right against the wall. Don't rush it. I finally saw him a few days later. In the hallway. Tall, too thin, chest barely moving. He looked at me and smiled. You breathe loudly, he said. I swallowed. I think our walls are thin, he nodded slowly. No, he replied, they're not. Then he leaned closer, and you'll stop needing to breathe soon. That night, I couldn't control it. My breathing sped up. So did his. I hyperventilated. The sound next door became violent, wet, strained. I tried to scream. No air came out. The breathing stopped. Not his, mine. I woke up on the floor, gasping. Paramedics said I stopped breathing for almost 40 seconds. I moved out the next day. The building manager later told me something strange. Apartment 2G had been vacant for over a year. No tenant, no lease, no utilities, but sometimes residents still complained about breathing sounds. Even now, when I lie down at night and take a deep breath, I wait to hear if someone else takes it with me. I thought moving out would end it. It didn't. I moved into a temporary rental in Olympia, about an hour south. Different city, different building, standalone unit, no shared walls. That was important to me. The first few nights were quiet. Too quiet. I slept with a fan on, just for background noise. I told myself my lungs were my own again. On the 4th night, I woke up suddenly. No sound, just awareness. The kind you get when your body wakes before your mind does. I inhaled. The fan hummed. Nothing else. Relief washed over me. Then I exhaled and heard it. Not from a wall, not from another room, from the closet. A soft exhale, late but deliberate. I stood there for a long time, hand on the door, heart pounding. I held my breath. 5 seconds, 15. The air inside the closet went silent. Then, a slow, patient inhale, like something waiting for permission. I opened the door. Empty. No vents, no crawl space, no sound, but the air inside felt warm, recently used. I brought my recording gear again. This time I placed microphones everywhere. Closet, ceiling, bathroom vent. I slept with the lights on. Barely slept at all. The recordings were worse. Not overlapping waveforms anymore. The breathing was now anticipatory. It started before I inhaled, as if something else was setting the rhythm, teaching my lungs what to do next. While cleaning the audio, I noticed patterns, gaps, pauses, intentional spacing. I isolated the sound, slowed it down, filtered the low frequencies. That's when I heard it. Not breathing. Speech. Buried inside the airflow. Broken. Fragmented. But clear enough. Match me. I requested my hospital records from Tacoma. There was something I hadn't seen before. Under cause of respiratory arrest, a handwritten note. Unknown external synchronization. The attending physician's signature was missing. So was his name. One night, I stopped fighting it. I lay flat. Lights off, no fan, no recordings. I inhaled slowly and let it happen. The other breath came immediately, closer than ever. Inside my chest, not beside me. Within me, I realized then. It never lived next door. It never needed walls. It needed rhythm, consistency, a human pattern it could copy. And now, it didn't need to anymore. Sometimes I wake up not remembering if I started the breath or finished someone else's. Doctors say my lungs are healthy, but they can't explain why. Every night, at exactly the same time, my breathing pauses, and something else finishes it for me. I'm recording this because my doctor asked me to start journaling. He says it helps patients who experience identity fragmentation. That's the term he used, not possession, not hallucination, fragmentation. I don't dream anymore. When I sleep, there's no transition, no drifting, no falling. One moment I'm awake, the next moment hours are gone. But my body has been busy. My fitness tracker shows breathing cycles I don't recognize. Too steady, too perfect, no variation. Human lungs don't do that. I still record at night. Habit, fear, maybe proof. Last night I listened to the audio from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. At first it was just breathing. Then I heard a voice, clear, calm, practicing. It was my voice. But it wasn't saying what I remembered saying. I'm getting better at this, it said. Then a pause. Then, he's almost quiet now. Yesterday, my neighbor knocked on my door. A woman I had never seen before. She looked relieved. Thank you for last night, she said. I stared at her. For what? She smiled. For helping my husband breathe. He hasn't slept properly in weeks. I didn't answer. She looked confused. You live next door? She said. Apartment 2G? I laughed. I don't live in 2G. I never have. I checked my documents. My lease agreement had been updated, digitally signed, my signature. But I don't remember signing it. Apartment listed 2G. Length of residence indefinite. They say if something replaces you, the mirror shows it. That's not true, The mirror works fine. Too fine. My reflection breathes before I do. Sometimes I follow it, sometimes it waits. We're polite about it. This will be my last recording because I'm starting to hear breathing that isn't mine, not beside me, not inside me, below, through the phone, through this microphone, waiting, learning.